Dyslexia, the evolution of a scientific concept. This is Jack M. Fletcher from the University of Houston, 2009. This article is kind of an overview of how our understanding of dyslexia has evolved over the last 25 years, and how much more specific we've gotten, especially with neurology and definition and classification and things like that. He begins by talking a little bit about what the neurological perspective of dyslexia is, the different types of dyslexia, which I'm still kind of clarifying in my head. I think there's two or three. One is word reading dyslexia. The other is when you're very fluent, but your comprehension is not there. I can't remember what the third one is right now, but those two are really interesting to me as a teacher because I have clear examples in my head of students who can read very fluently, and then you ask them what happened and they have no idea. And that's very different from students who cannot decode very simple words, however, often have really high understanding when they hear it. So that's the difference between phonics and phonemic awareness, letter to sound correspondence versus sound to meaning correspondence. So very interesting. They did some brain imaging stuff after remediation, and it really seems like we're getting closer and closer to really understanding how to effectively remediate with students with dyslexia or at risk for reading. Favorite part of the reading was this bit about how more explicit, phonics-based, intentionally laid out, organized strategies are essential for at-risk children. That's what the school view has been saying for a long time. But I've always felt a little bit incomplete with that view of like, yeah, we just need to specifically work on phonics with those kids. And the next sentence is what really got me. In addition, only teaching phonics reduces transfers to other domains of reading. So a more comprehensive approach that includes reading practice to build fluency and explicit teaching of comprehension strategies and vocabulary usually result in higher levels of overall reading proficiency. Oh, that's how excited I am. So you need the explicit decoding instruction, but it's better if it's comprehensive, right? You're not going to get a lot of transfer if you're only working on the one skill. It should be within the whole realm of reading. So it's kind of what I've been arguing. You got to do it all. And I come from a whole reading first and then skills frame. And a lot of other people come from a decoding first and then whole reading frame. And I think that's fine. There's many ways to skin a cat. And as always, I think about the sports focus of this, right? If I coached basketball and all I did was play games, my team would have a lot of gaps in fundamental skills. But if I coached basketball and all I did was shooting practice, my team would have a lot of gaps in terms of comprehensive game ability to play the game. And which of those two approaches is better? Well, that's kind of a conversation that's not even worth having because neither of those approaches are good, right? A good approach is having a balance and having as much of what you need of each, for your team, for your kids. So I want to follow up and read this Stubing et al. 2008 article because this is the one that specifically describes this more comprehensive approach and how it is better. So that's the next one for me to pull. It looks like it's a response to recent reanalysis of the National Reading Panel report, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So that's awesome. Yeah, so exciting stuff. The other thing I'm trying to understand more and more is this response to intervention model. I've gone through many different understandings of what it actually means, and I'm getting to the point where I'm currently understanding it as just being a general framework. That means first you use universal screenings. Then you monitor students at risk, and then you provide increasingly intense intervention to students who are not responding positively enough to the interventions. So it's making more sense. But like all these concepts, to me, it's just like, oh yeah, this is how you would do it. start by doing something good for everyone, and then look at the individual students. So, yeah, great reading, short and sweet, but lots of really good takeaways. Thanks for watching. And if I know you and you watch this, let me know, because I just put these out there mostly for me, but if you checked it out, awesome. If I don't know you, comment, you know? All right.